All right, so in this video, I want to go over a hydraulic problem where we are trying to figure out how much water is in a reservoir, given a couple different parameters. So in this particular question, we have a water in a tank is 37 feet high when full. Okay, so if you can picture this, we've got our water tank, and it's saying that when this tank is full, the height here measures 37 feet, right? Now, you are in a valve vault making an adjustment, and there's a pressure gauge down there, and you read 11 psi on a gauge that is mounted 9 feet below the floor of this tank. Right? So we got to think, okay, if this is the floor of this tank, we are in a valve vault down here. This is you. You are reading a pressure, and you read a pressure equal to 11 psi. Okay, and the point at which you're reading this pressure is going to be that, 9 feet from the bottom of the tank to wherever you're reading the pressure. Right, 9 feet. So now, given these numbers here, we are asked to figure out how many feet of water are actually in the reservoir based on this pressure we were given. So first thing we're going to do is start with this pressure. So if I read a pressure of 11 psi, I want to figure out how many feet of head does that actually equate to. So 11 psi, we need to convert. We're going to try to get rid of the psi, so it's going to go on bottom here. We want to bring in feet of head. We know that there are 2.31 feet of head for every 1 psi. So now I grab my calculator. 11 times 2.31 gives me 25.41 feet of head. Right? And that's the total head I'm measuring here. So now what you can kind of picture is from the point here where we're measuring our pressure, the pressure associated with that would rise up, right? In an open pipe, it would rise up 25.41 feet. Now, in order to determine how much water is actually in my tank, I have to consider the journey that water takes first. So from the point where I'm measuring PSI, water has to rise 9 feet just to get to the bottom of the tank. So now I'm going to take this 25.41 feet, and I'm going to subtract off the 9 feet of elevation head here. And so now I take my 25.41 minus my 9 feet, gives me 16.41 feet. So if you can imagine now, I've risen up 9 feet. Now the water level in this tank is going to rise that additional 16.41 feet. And that's how we figure out how much water is in this tank based on the given parameters, really based on a given pressure. And based on that pressure is coming from the elevation difference and also the water level in the tank. So our pressure head here and our elevation head here.